Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl Audrey Codner at ACG Math Tutoring. Yes, I know I put a post that I was going to be on at 9:45, but I got a client. So, hey, if I can shift things around to see if I can plug you guys in, that's exactly what I will do. So what we're doing for this session is we're looking at the math that is used in the ASVAB test. Now, a lot of the math that I try to generally hit hard on is usually useful for all kinds of standardized assessments. So the ASVAB, the GED, the AccuPlacer, maybe even the TEAS test, the HESI test. A lot of the math components is generally the same. So even if you just want to come in and just relax, do a little bit of math while we're doing some things, that will be awesome too. But if you know somebody that's thinking about wanting to improve their scores for the ASVAB, have them to come on in. Okay, so we're going to try to get as much of this stuff done. All right, we got Cookie Head. Hey, Cookie Head. This Cookie Head is saying C. So let me see if you guys can see a little bit more. All right. So we have Mike has $5.25 in quarters and dimes. He has exactly 15 dimes. How many quarters does he have? We have A is 6, B is 12, C is 15, and D is 21. So as you guys are coming in and you're trying to look at it and try to calculate it, go ahead and put your answer into the chat. And if you are not sure what the answer should be, you can always use a question mark, because question marks is just as good as saying, I don't know, IDK. All right. So we have my SB Carlos is saying C. Okay. Sev is saying 15. Carlos, I see you. I see your C's. I'm good. Thank you for the I don't know. Thank you for the honesty. Okay. Neiman is saying C. Wasabi Dragon is saying C. I'm doing well, Carlos. Hopefully you're doing well tonight too, or this afternoon, or wherever you're at. Okay. All right. Okay, thank you so much for the follows, guys. Yes, we really want to hit on these concepts because you will be tested on them. All right. All right. It's Mo is saying C. All right. Ismail saying C. Is that Lubes saying hi? Hey, Lubes. Big Al, how are you doing, Big Al? Hopefully you're doing well tonight. Julia is saying C. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at this. So we already know that he has 15 dimes. All right. So last time I checked, a dime is 10 cents, right? So if you're looking at your 0.10 and you have 15 of those bad boys, right away, I know I have $1.50. So if I take that $1.50 and I take away from my $5.25, I'll get my $3.75. And this is how much I have in quarters. But if we want to know, a quarter is 25 cents. So this is when common sense sometimes come into play, especially if you're here in the States. We know that 4 quarters can give me $1. So in order for me to get $3, 4 times 3, that means I got 12 quarters. Now, I have 75 cents, and 75 cents is an additional 3 quarters. So that means the total number of quarters I'm going to have is 15. Okay, so it will be giving my C. All right. Okay, we're good. All right, next one. All right, Kelly used to pay $500 a month for rent. Now she pays $525 a month for rent. But what percent did her rent increase? Is it 0.5%? Is it 5%? Is it 10%? Or 12.5%? Hey, boo-boo. Why is it every time I go live? Oh. I'll let you out. Okay? I promise. I promise. All right. So I got a couple B's. I have a D for Azor. Okay, those are from the last one. You do, Wasabi? All right. You don't understand? Okay, Carlos, I got you. Okay, we're saying A, we're saying B. Okay. All right, so Karen is giving me 25 over 500 to find the percent. You can do that. Okay, Michael is saying B. All right, Angela's saying B. All right. So, Karen's got us started. But I bet you all are wondering, where is the 25 coming from? Okay, good. I'm seeing a couple more B's. Awesome. So this is what's happening. You're taking what the current rate is, or the amount, which is my 525. You're going to subtract it from the old price, which was my 500. And then you're going to divide it by the old price. Okay, so when you're trying to find the percentage increase, you take your new minus the old divided by the old. So this is where Karen was finding her 25. I think it was Karen. Was finding her 25 over the 500. All right. Now, since they're looking for the percent, let's make our lives a little bit more easier. So we know our fraction or our ratio is 25 over 500. But we want to change our answer to a percent. The way that you change, because you're going to get a decimal and then you're going to have to multiply it by 100 to get it into a percentage. Well, guess what? 100 and 500, they both have 100 in common. So they could be simplified. 100 divided by 100 is 1. 500 divided by 100 is 5. So now I have 25 over 5. And it's already ready for you for percentage, which 25 divided by 5 gives us 5. So our answer would be 5%, which is B. I like to take it to the next step and multiply it by the 100 because now I don't have to deal with large numbers. And then you're going to have to try to figure out, all right, what's 25 over 500? Now, I know for the ASVAB, you will not be able to use a calculator. So you're going to have to do a lot of scrap paper calculations. So if there's anything we can do to make the numbers smaller, more manageable, and still get the right answer, I'm all for it. Okay? Okay? All right. So, define elementary level. Like, are you talking about grade school? Because I don't do those. Or are you talking about elementary algebra? Okay. All right. Okay. Do I do probability? I can do probability during my tutoring sessions. Yes, I can. And we're actually doing a probability problem right now. So a bag has 8 pennies, 5 dimes, 7 nickels. The coin is randomly selected from the bag. What is the probability that the coin chosen is a dime? I know, Penny. We all need a break. We need an academic enema. Sometimes we just need that good, as my mom would say, a good washout. All right. Okay. It's okay. It's all right, everyone. Just keep on going. That's generally what happens when we get around like 400s and above. All right. So I'm seeing some B's. We got Julie, India, Ewok, I think. Kai. Okay, we got Cruz. Yelena. Okay, Jess, how are you? Okay, Rick, Lube, saying B. My smiley face saying A. Okay. All right, so Karen, you might be able to reduce that. Okay, you got 5/20ths. We got B's. We got B's. Okay, this is what I do. If you don't like, that's fine. Okay. Okay. All right. So I got some B's. I got 1/3. All right. It's okay. Okay. Fortunately, I have to do it this way. Okay. All right. So we have a total of how many coins? We have 8, we have 5, we have 7. Okay. 5 and 7, that gives me 12. 12 plus 8 gives me 20. So that's the total number of coins. And it's always your part over your whole. So we're only looking for what's the opportunity for us to get dimes. Well, there's 5 dimes. So 5/20ths, that can be reduced by 5. So that gives us 1/4, which gives us B. So a couple of you guys were giving me 5/20ths, which is fine, but always look to reduce. All right? Okay? You're not dumb. It's okay. You're here to learn. Put so much stress on yourselves. Okay, relax. Listen to the nice, easy listening music. All right. How often do I do this? Well, I go live every day. So sometimes I do a mixture of this. Sometimes it's college algebra stuff. Sometimes it's SAT prep stuff. Like tomorrow, I'm going to be doing some basic stuff like adding, subtracting, multiplying, polynomials, and I might throw decimals in there. It depends. But I try to hit on some of the concepts that is going to be used in GED, ASVAB, AccuPlacer, all those type of tests. Okay. All right. Sometimes it changes around because if I get a client last minute, I go to the client. So originally I posted that I was going to be live at 9:45, but then I got a client for after at 9:45. So I was like, let me just come on. At least I'm here. Okay. You just took your practice test? Awesome. How'd you do? How'd you do, Melly Mel? All right. So I got a bunch of B's, have a couple of C's. Okay. So, am I a teacher? Yes, I am. I am a certified teacher. Okay, right now, I left the classroom about 6 years ago to run my own online tutoring business. So, we're looking at 2 gallons. If it was 1 gallon, we got our 8. But we're looking at 2 gallons, so our answer will be 16. Okay, so if we have 2 pints, that gives me a quart. Okay, so for 4 quarts, that will be 8 pints for a gallon. but they're looking for 2 gallons. Okay, so 8 pints is usually for a gallon, but for 2 gallons, it had to be 16. Okay, all right, good. You scored a 257. Okay, what about math? Did I miss that? I probably did. You just kind of slipped on by. All right, so let's do this one before we have our mad taps so we can bring more people to the party. Okay. All right, a 226. All right. Okay, so you scored a 226. I got you. All right. But it was the practice test, right, Mel? So all we have to do is, here's my suggestion. If you took it today, if you can remember some of the problems that made you stuck, because we're good at remembering things that are bad. That's just human nature. If you can write down some of those problems, okay, to get it off your mind, and then you have a good idea what you need to study up on. Okay, that might help out a little bit. So I'm seeing $80 interest. I'm seeing some A's. I'm seeing some B's. Oh, you start the classes tomorrow? Okay. All right. No problem. Good. Hey, take it step by step. It is going to go quick. But you don't like this type of problems. I know, Ray. But here's the thing. If you're going to go for the ASVAB, it's going to be there. Most of these tests are reading problems. Yes, I'm going to break it down, Angelica. I'm going to do that. All right. So, Paul invests $2,000 in an account and pays 4% annual interest. How much will he earn in interest in 1 year? Notice it doesn't say compounded. It did not say compounded annually, compounded quarterly. It didn't say that. So when they don't mention it, they mean simple interest. So that's your principal times your rate times your time in years. So the principal is what you start off with. So that's your 2,000. Your rate is the percent that it pays, 4%. But we need this 4% as a decimal. So 4% as a decimal is 0.04. Okay, not 0.4. That's 40%. Okay, we're looking at 4%. And the time we're looking at is 1 year. So all you have to do is multiply. I would say multiply all three, but we know anything multiplied by 1 is itself. So you really just have to multiply the 2,000 with the 0.04. So knowing this, you're going to have an extra 0 in the mix. You're going to have your 4 times the 2, which gives you the 8. And then you have to count 2 decimal places over. So if you get your 8, you got your 1, you got your 2. So that's going to give you your $80. You just have to multiply these 2. Okay. You don't have enough money, darling. It's my mom's phone. Keon, all right. Well, welcome, Keon. Appreciate you. All right. Questions on that one? Okay. All right. You don't have enough money, baby. I've been getting these weird calls all day. Like, people, would you like a teaching position? No. Can't bore me. All right. 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. Sergeant Jeffries walks 1.2 miles. What distance in feet did the sergeant walk? Is it A, B, C, or D? What does PET mean? It's not PET, it's PRT. Principal rate times time. Okay, so this one is from ASVAB for Dummies. I hate the name of it, but it's a good book, and based off of the people that have taken the practice test, they say it's a good indicator for the test itself. So if you're thinking about taking the ASVAB, do so. So I have some C's, I have some D's. C's and D's. Okay. So I'm getting some C's, I'm getting some D's. All right. Well, just the test, not the book itself. The testing part. Yeah, the book itself is terrible. It's a whole lot of reading. Okay. Do I have a book? I do not. I have just notebooks. I do not have a workbook, but I do have courses. So I do have a GED course, ASVAB course that you can take. All right. So let's take a look. They're saying that 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. So if he walked 1.2 miles, notice my answer choices. They're all in feet. So in order for me to do it, I need to do the multiplication of the two. Okay, so I can change everything into feet, which is going to be D. Because if you know that 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet, the sergeant walked 1.2 miles, you're looking for how many feet. So you're going to cross multiply. So this gives me X is equal to 5,280 times 1.2. Oops. Okay. I wish I can say you can just Google it, but you can't use electronics when you take the ASVAB. All right? Okay? And plus, you don't want to be a slave to technology. Use your brain. All right. Now, this one I'm going to have to shrink quite a bit so you can see the whole thing. But I'll read the very top for you. So it says, a total of 200 people attended a conference. Use the chart to determine how many attendees were women. In this section, it says 53%. In this, women. In this section, says 47% men. So I'll write it out here so you can get it. This is 40% men. This is 53% women. Okay, so a total of 200 people attended the conference, and they want to know how many attendees were women. Okay, so I'm seeing some D's with the 106s. I'm seeing like 53% of 200. What grade is this? This is definitely for the ASVAB. Thank you for the handwriting. I try. Okay, and that was... Okay. And remember, guys, there's more than one way of getting the same answer. Okay? All right, so Keon says the answer is D. Okay, Roni's D. 12-inch vinyl saying D. Okay, Nacy D. Profit for Life D. Unrules D. Okay, a lot of D. Big Al's D. Katrina D. 8. Hey. Okay, Ray saying D. Yes, the answer is D, just like you're saying. It is 200 Now, we know the percentage of women is 53%. So 53% as a decimal is 0.53. Once you multiply those two, you will get an answer of 106. All right. Oh, thank you, Bryson. I need that. I need that. Thank you for the reminder. All right, so there's 484. Okay, can we get it? Can we get it up to at least 10K? Okay, nice and easy. Quick math tap so we can get more people. Can you explain why we multiply? Because you're taking, anytime you're taking the percentages, you're multiplying. Okay, anytime you're taking percentages, you're always multiplying. Okay, so you don't know how to multiply? Sorry? Okay. Okay. My logins? And language arts? No, you will surely fail for language arts. Cash? No. Okay. Not a problem. Okay. All of this, I have replays that's going to be on my YT. I'm going to show you in a moment. I know. It's supposed to be. Because I want to get it all the way up to 10. And once I get it to 10, I can show the next problem. Okay. Some of this is used in college algebra. Okay. Some of these components are seen in college algebra. So right now it's really geared towards ASVAB. So like these are the questions that are for like ASVAB for dummies. And I just kind of go through it. Okay. All right. So all of the stuff that I'm putting on here. Okay. So, all right. So we got it up to there. So all of my replays, if you ever want, oops. Okay. You can go here, type in this, and then do these 5 things. Okay. All of my replays from February 2nd is listed. Okay. Even the one from last night. All right. Okay. Yep. Anytime you try and take the percentage of something, you are multiplying. All right. Next week. All right. Good job, Ray. You're going to be fine. All right. ASVAB. There you go. Not a problem. Here we go. Oops. So let me make this a little bit larger for you guys. Okay, suppose you have $88 in your checking account. You use a debit card to pay $22 for a sweater, and $8 for lunch, and then you deposit a $38 check. What is the balance in your account? Is it A, 58, B, 96, C, 20, or D, 156? If you say 156, you're going to go to jail for fraud. Thank you. Come again. I was like, oh, math. That math ain't mathing. So right away, boom, done. All right, so I'm seeing some B's. I'm seeing some C's. I'm seeing a C of B's and a C of C's. All right, and then I got a 96. I got a 100. Okay. All right, so I'm going back to my B's, a couple C's. All right, let's take a look at it. Think about it. You started off with $88. Now, you spent $22 and you spent $8. So right there, you spent $30. So if you have 88 minus your $30, okay, that brings us to $58. But then you deposit this check a 38, which we all know is not immediately going to be ready for the account, but we're just playing in pretend world, right? Oh, it's taking 3 days for it to clear and all that fun stuff. All right. Unless you deposit it as cash and you have enough money in the account, which you do, to deposit that check as cash. There you go. You're welcome. So now you are adding the 58 and the 38. Okay. So 8 plus 8 gives me 16. And then 5 and 4 gives me 9. Okay. So here's another thing. If you know $30 is coming out and $38 is coming back in, once you do this 8 plus 8 and you know you got a 6, look at the ends, the ones of all your answer choices. The only one with a 6 is B. Boom, that's your answer. Click it, circle it, bubble it, move on. Because remember, this is a timed assessment. You're going to have roughly like 1 minute and 8 seconds per question. And there's going to be some questions you're going to know right away. But there's going to be some questions that you're going to need to kind of like get your thoughts together. And they always put those type of questions close to the end of that section. They do it all the time. Okay? Because you're never going to have just the math sections back to back. They might put the math section first and then a reading section next. Maybe a little history or something, whatever else, of course, and then put the math section again. And then some. Trust me. They always try to get you for the math, the algebra piece towards the end because they know you're tired. So that's why it's always good to practice up and try to work through and get some sleep the night before. So for number 9, I'm seeing a series of like 4/5. I'm seeing some D's. I'm seeing some C's. Okay, got a couple more C's. Y Diego. Okay, we got B is the next answer. Things are over. You don't miss this, Chopper? He's like, I don't miss this at all. Joyce is B, Bonnie B. 4/5 will be the amount of the right-handed. Okay, so it's D, we got B, we got C, we got B. Well, I guess we're all in agreement it's not going to be A. Okay, because I'm seeing like a whole sea of stuff. All right, so let's take a look. There's 24 right-handed students in a class of 30. This is your total, okay, in a class of 30. So you're not adding the 24 and the 30. So you're saying you got a total of 30 students. 24 of them are right-handed. The student chosen from the class at random, what is the probability that the student is left-handed? Well, if you have a total of 30 students and 24 of them are right-handed, how many of these blessed people are left-handed? They're going to be 6. Okay? All right? So 30 minus 24, that gives us our 6. And now we want to simplify. What does 6 and 30 have in common? 6. I know some people are like 3, but is that the greatest? So the greatest is going to be 6. So what I do to simplify, you divide the numerator and denominator by our 6. So that gives us 1/5, which our answer is B. Okay. All right. Okay, so for those that are new to the channel, I like to break it down to the point that you will understand. Yes, I can rattle off the answers and say B, C, C, A, B, C, A, B, 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 C, A, B. I can easily do that. But that's not going to help you to figure things out. Okay, that's not going to help you break concepts down. All right, we need to get over the fear. Thank you, Kelly, for the puff hearts. I appreciate that. Thank you all for the follows. Okay, at a laundromat, we all know this once in a point of our lives. It costs $1.75 to wash each load of laundry and $1.50 to dry each load of laundry. How much will you pay to wash and dry 4 loads of laundry? Okay, not a problem. Hey, Carrie Star. Thank you for the hearts. Okay. Bonnie saying D, Mary saying C, Marv saying D, Hunter Gigi is saying D. Okay, he's saying D, Willis D, Believe D, Rich D. Hold on, Lovely B, Willie, I think I said you, D. Okay. Ash is D, FTW Gal is saying D. Joyce is saying D. Okay, Lovely, I got you. Jenny, how are you? Is saying D. Shaquina Shaq is saying D. Chavez is D. Peachy D. Jeff D. Okay. Venus D. Jackie D. Kelly D. Brenda D. Belle D. All right. So good. Now, here's another thing that you have to be careful with any type of assessment. You notice that they put numbers up here, right? So you got the 175, okay, to wash, 150 to dry. But then, why didn't they just put a 4, like a number 4 here? You know why they didn't do that? Because this is what we generally do. We tend to skim, and there's nothing wrong with skimming. I think that's a good idea, especially if we got a huge, thick paragraph. People tend to skim, and what happens? They skim over this. And then all of a sudden, they're like, okay, I got 175 and I got 150. But I don't see my answer. As you're doing the time's ticking. So this is why we have to take our time to read sometimes. Okay? So that's when you got your 175. Multiply that by 4. And you got your 150. Multiply that by 4. And sometimes we can use just our common sense. And then once you get your 2 lovely little answers, if you want to add those 2 up and then multiply by 4, you can do that as well. But you're still going to get the same answer of $13. Okay. So if you add them together, that'll give you what, $325, and then multiply by 4 to give you your 13. Okay. If you don't want to split it up, you can do that. Okay. All right. So you see, there's more than one way to get your answer. We just want to get your answer. Now, once you see what the pattern is, and you knew that, all right, it's definitely not going to be in the 20s, and you know it's definitely not going to be like $2.25, you can do process of elimination. That's what you really need to do to be successful with these type of problems. Okay. Whoops. Got a little crazy with that one. All right. Number 11. So what do we think? So Della's been walking at a constant speed of 2.5 miles per hour for 12 minutes. How many miles has she walked? A, 0.2 miles. B, a half a mile. C, 2 miles. Or D, 4.8 miles. Hello, Rosette. How are you? Welcome back. Okay, Carrie Star is saying D. Johnny saying B. Stormy saying B. Willie is saying A. A. Monet is saying A. Is that NYC Cam 79 saying B. Represent. Okay, Shane is saying 2.5 times 0.2. Okay, Rose is saying B. Lisa C. Wasted A. G.O.B. Mustang. Sally saying D. Mr. Chavez is saying B. Okay, Sean saying B. Series B. Ash A. Daisy A. I don't even know if I can say that out there. Okay, but you love them. All right, you got D, Oil B, J A, Big Al A, my blank space A, Debe A. Okay, Macintosh saying B, Triple J, J cubed saying D, Elizabeth B, Shaq Diesel saying A. Okay, Jackie, I don't know. Hey, that's perfectly fine. All right, so we're starting to get a repeat. Craig got an A in there. All right, so let's see. Oh, Daniel, let's grow. All right, so if we take first off, we have all our stuff in miles. But here's the thing. She was walking at 2.5 miles per hour. But they have us here in 12 minutes. So how much is 12 minutes in an hour? So we know that there is 60 minutes in 1 hour. So that means if we do our 12 divided by 60, we could reduce it by 6. So that would give me, 2/10? No, we could reduce it by 12. What am I talking about? So that would give me my 1/5. And 1/5, as some of you guys wrote down, is equivalent with 0.02 or 2/10. But that's not going to be my answer. This is the conversion of 12 minutes to make it into hours. Okay, 2/10 of an hour. We can take that 2/10 of an hour and replace it and multiply it with my 2.5. So 5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1 gives me the 5. All right. This is 1 decimal place. This is 1 decimal place. So that means I have to start here and move 1, 2 decimal places. So that will give me 0.5 miles. So she walked a half a mile. Okay. Okay. All right, good. All right. So how are we feeling? Let's take a moment, check in. How are we feeling? Okay. You know, the brain's working a little bit. Some people are feeling pretty good. Some people are probably beating themselves up right now. God, I'm stupid. I'm this. I'll never get this. Oh, no. Stop the hatred talk. Just stop. Okay? It's not cute. All right? You can get this done. If I can become a math teacher, anybody can freaking do this stuff. Okay? I mean, man, I used to suck at math. But all we have to do is take it into small chunks. Take it into small steps. All right? Okay, you got a geometry quiz tomorrow. Okay. And it is. Thank you, Elizabeth, for saying that. It is a learning process. Now, I know, especially for people that haven't been in school for a long time and they're trying to go back and they're taking statistics and calculus and all this stuff, and you're feeling overwhelmed because you're getting a lot of math in a short amount of time. Okay? All right? Okay? So, first thing you have to do is convert the minutes into hours because we're talking about miles per hour. So that's why we took the 12 divided by 60. If you want it as a fraction, you can keep it as 1/5. 1/5 is the equivalent of 0.2 or 2/10. Then you're taking this 2/10 because that's 2/10 of an hour. Multiply it by your 2.5. And when you do, 2.5, that's 1 decimal place, 0.2, that's 1 decimal place. That means your answer should have 2 decimal places. So you get your 50, then you move your decimal place over 2 spots. That's how you get your 0.5. Okay. Okay. But then you get 5. All right. Okay. Almost done, because I have to get ready for my next person. All right. So here we are. A rectangular deck is 6 meters long and 8 meters wide. What is the distance from one corner of the deck to the opposite corner? Okay, and that's fine, lovely. Appreciate that you're here. Okay, no problem, bro. All right, welcome. Okay. Okay, Ross, I'm glad it's obvious to you, but for others, it may or may not. Okay, so I got a series of B's and A's. Okay, Miss May got a B, no key, got a B. 1 plus 2 crazy, saying A. I'm kind of scared what the crazy is. What's the crazy? Okay. So Faith, or Ross, Faith is asking you a question. What's the formula? Your kids? Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, we got some A's. I got a couple C's. All right, seeing some C's, seeing some A's. I got my 10s. All right. Okay, like what you do. You, okay, saying A. Okay. 1/2 the base times height. That is when we're trying to find area. Faith. That's for area. So at least you remembered. So that's going to be for area, but we're not looking for area. All right, so we'll see. There we go. There you go, Ro. Good. Now, right here, if I were to, let's say, take this apart. First of all, it's a rectangle. So rectangles, all of my corners are 90 degrees, and that's what the 90-degree symbol looks like. So the other thing about rectangles is their opposite sides are congruent. So this means this side is 6 meters. That means this side is 6 meters. If this side is 8 meters, that means this side is also 8 meters. But if I were to take just the triangle out, so if I were to just redo this for a second, this means this will be 6 meters. This will be 8 meters. And we're looking for our unknown. So we have a right triangle. We're not looking for the area. We're looking for the length of this side. So this is when people use your a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And that's called your Pythagorean theorem. Okay? The side that is directly across from that 90-degree angle is always your C. That's called your hypotenuse. That's always the longest side. So these two other sides are called your legs. And your legs are interchangeable. So it doesn't matter what's going to represent the A, what's going to represent the B. Doesn't matter. They're interchangeable. So now you have your 6 squared, and it's not 12. Okay, the reason why I'm writing things out, because it's also helpful for other things. A lot of people keep saying that 6 raised to the second power is going to be 12 because that's 6 times 2. No, this 2 is not the same size as the 6. This is an exponent, and the exponent's job is to tell you how many times you're going to multiply this base. So this base is being multiplied by 6 times 6, which gives me 36. Bring down my plus sign. Same thing's happening with my 8 squared. That's 8 times 8, which gives me 64. And I bring down my equals and the x squared. Okay. So now add 36 and 64. Okay, so we got our 100. There we go. But 100 is equal to x squared. We don't want to know x squared is, we want to know what x is. So the inverse of a square is a square root. Squares and square roots are opposites of each other. So what's left is going to be my x. I'm going to put it over here. And it's basically saying what multiplied by itself 2 times will give me 100. Well, 10 times 10 gives me 100. If I try to square any of these, they're never going to give me an ending of a 0. Okay, so that's why it's 10. Okay, not a problem. Probably never, Mark. Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Jax. All right, Jesus, I need for you to get with the politeness here. Okay. I think you mean your math, but I got you. All right. Yeah, that's what it is. We don't need any stress, any strain. Okay? Because when you're stressed, guys, you can't learn. You can't learn when you're in a high stress situation. I'm sorry. So if this is too slow, please, I love it. I love that you're here. Thank you so much for participating. But yeah, this is me, and I'm not going to have anyone change me, okay? Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Rose. Appreciate it. Okay. So Tom is going to hang 3 frame pictures side by side on a wall. How many different ways can he arrange the picture? Okay. No problem, Jackie. Okay. So Ray Sean's saying A, 9. We got 6 for my 1 plus 2. Okay, thanks, bro. Okay, combinations. Yep. Jonathan's B, Rosette D. Okay, Macintosh D. But you know, yes, factorials. That's it. Love your baby so much. Yes. And I'm going to explain the factorials. So I'm seeing some C's, I'm seeing some A's. 27. So we're saying that. We got our C. We have our D. Pardon me. Yep. Okay. So we got our 9s. We got C's. We have a 5. We got an A. All right. Let's take a look. All right. So there is 3 framed pictures. Okay. Side by side. Now, it doesn't have to be any order. They don't say that they have to be put in a particular order, like which one's first, which one's second, which one third. That means you can put the blue frame here, the yellow frame there, and the purple frame over there, right? You can mix it up any which way that you want. That's called a combination. I'm going to just write the word combo for short. So it's going to be a combination. Now, when you do combinations, this is when you might see this thing. And I know this freaks a lot of people out, especially for the SAT and the ACTs. Okay? This is not 3, like someone screaming 3 to the high heavens, okay? This exclamation point, this sign, this symbol means factorials. So this is telling me I'm starting with the different numbers of picture frames, right? Which is 3 of them. And I'm looking at combinations that it could have less than that. So you have 3, you have 2, and you have 1. It never goes negative, and it doesn't go to 0. Okay? So when you have a factorial like this, you start with this number, and then you multiply the numbers, whole numbers, all the way down to 1. So if I had a 6 factorial, that means I would start at 6 and multiply times 5, times 4, times 3, times 2, times 1. Okay? So 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 1 will also give me 6. So the different ways that I can put those combined 3 framed pictures is 6 different ways. Okay? All right. So don't let these little signs and symbols throw you off. All you can do is experience them. Okay? Trust me, I'm not going to go running outside hugging a tree. I'm just telling you that when you see this factorial sign next to a number, this is the number that you start with, and then you multiply the whole numbers going down to 1. Never 0, 1. Okay? Awesome. All right, let's do number 14. Okay. So, a cleaning company charged by the square foot. The company charges $600 to clean 4,800 square feet of space. How much would the company charge to clean 12,000 square feet of space? Is it A, $950? Really? Is it B, $1,200, C, $1,400, or D, $1,500? No problem. Okay, learn something new. Faith. So it's going to be 3 times 2 gives you 6. Slide down here for a second. 3 times 2 gives you 6. Bring down your plus 1. I know I'm using an X, just work with me. Then 6 times 1, that gives you 6. Yep, you're not doing distributive property. You're grouping, bringing down. Okay. Yep, times 1. Yep, anything times 1 is itself. All right. Cleaning company. Do I go over proportions? Almost all the time. I did a couple of them. Actually, we can do a proportion with this one. Okay, so I'm seeing some D's, I'm seeing some D's. Okay, right now, let's use some common sense sometimes. If we are charging, or the company's charging $600 to clean 4,800 square feet of space, which ones can we eliminate if I'm going to start cleaning 12,000 square feet of space? Okay, right away. I can eliminate exactly, Jordan. I can definitely eliminate A, and I should be able to eliminate B. So there should be more. I should definitely do more than double my money, right? So we're going to be somewhere between 1,400 and 1,500. So the way that you can set it up, you can set it up as a proportion because you really are doing a comparison. You're comparing your 600 with the square footage of 4,800. And you're saying, okay, I don't know how much they're going to charge for my 12,000. Now, we're not going to sit here and cross multiply with all these zeros. Oh, no, my loves. We're not. So what we're going to do, this has 2 zeros. Let me cancel them out. This has 2 zeros. Let me cancel those out. And let me cancel out 2 of these zeros. So now it's basically going to be 6 over 48 equals x over 120. So much more manageable. And guess what? Yes, you're going to get the same answer. Okay? Especially when you just cancel out the same amount of zeros. And if you want from here to do the cross multiplication, you can. Or you can try to figure out what is the pattern from 48 to 120. So I know that if I multiply 2.5 to 48, I'm going to get 120. This is just me. So if I'm going to multiply the denominator by 2.5, I can multiply the numerator by 2.5. And when I do that, let me slide it over here, I have 2.5 times 6. They're like, how'd you get 2.5? I know that 48 times 2.5 will give me a whole number of 120. But that's using my little thing with the multiplication. Okay? So I got my 30, got that. So this kind of gives me an idea, but then I got to bring those zeros back, right? So it's going to be D. And if you can't see it that way, you could cross multiply. 48 times x. Let me put that in a different color. Where's my green? Right here. I could do 48 times x. Then 120 times 6. 720. Then divide by 48. If you want to do it that way, you can do it that way. Okay? And you can get me close to what I'm looking for. Okay. Oh, sorry. I gotcha. So sorry. Okay. So some people don't understand, and here's the thing. Some people will be like, yeah, I can do this. Remember, there's multiple ways of getting the same answer. Yes, but we can't use a calculator. That's why I keep emphasizing. And a lot of people are like, why don't you just do that? You can put it in a calculator. Exactly. You can't use a calculator. So you're going to have to do that long division. So this will give us our 15. But remember, we canceled out 2 sets of zeros. So we're going to have to bring those zeros back. That's why it's going to be, 1,500. Okay? I'm trying to read and solve problems at the same time. I can't do that. Okay? You can do that and then do your multiplication. You can do that, Faith. So there's multiple ways of getting the same thing. Hey, Janice, how are you? So there's so many different ways. Okay. All right. Okay. We have one more, and then I got to go. All right. I don't have to cover up for this one. So we have Kendall. Kendra earns $12 an hour. Her employer pays 1.5 times her normal, so 1.5 times her normal pay for overtime. Last week, she worked 40 hours plus 4 hours overtime. How much did she earn last week? So for those that are like, when are we ever going to use this in real life? Yeah. If you're working for somebody, almost every paycheck. What is my favorite math subject to do? Algebra 2. Oh, thanks, Janice. Oh, yeah, I ordered your books early this morning. Kind of like last night, but early this morning. I'm not sure if I messaged you or not. Slightly delusional. Oh, well, thank you. Not a problem. Okay. So is it A, 552, B, 528, C, 1400, or D, 480? If you said C, my babies, are you trying to go to jail? Money laundering like I don't know what. Get that out of there. Okay. You would like to purchase a book? Okay. Yep. If you just... There are multiple ways. There should be a Service Plus button from TikTok because I filled out a whole bunch of information. And if you do get stuck, you can go here. Okay? Because if I say it, all of a sudden I get a violation. I had too many violations last week. It's crazy. Okay? All right. So I'm getting A's, I'm getting B's, I'm getting D's, I'm getting A's. Okay. Help them out. Okay. So what are we doing? What steps? So this is for the anonymous. Like, what steps are you currently taking to help them? Like, is the teacher doing after school help? Are you getting a tutor? Are we getting to the source? Is there something else? Is he bullying in class? He just feels like, I just don't want to do this. There's so many factors. Okay. I do not. Okay, so I'm seeing some A's, I'm seeing some D's, I'm seeing some B's. All right, let's take a look. So Kendra has $12 an hour. Okay. She worked 40 hours. So this is her regular pay. So that means we're taking our 40 and we're times it by 12. I know I'm using the X, just work with me. So 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 4 is 8. Still got to do the 1 and 0. So that's 0. 1 and 4, that's 4. So this is how much she made for the 40 hours. So it's $480. Okay. All right. This is what she made for the 40 hours, not including the overtime. So right away, choice D is gone. So it's either going to be A or B. But now, the overtime, they made 1.5 overtime. Okay. So in 1 hour, that means 1.5 hours. So if she earns $12 in 1 hour, what's half of that? What's half of that? If you're making 12, good. All right, big eye, I see what you're doing. So this is going to be for the 0.5 of an hour. So altogether, that is 18. So that's how much it's going to make for that overtime rate. And she worked for 4 hours. So that means I got to take that 18 and multiply that by 4. So I can figure out how much money she made in that 4-hour overtime. So 8 times 4 is 32. Carry the 3. Okay. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 3 gives me 7. So it's an additional $72 for just the overtime. So this is the pay, this is the overtime. We're going to add those two bad boys together. And what do we get? We have our 2. 7 plus 8, that gives me my 15. Carry the 1. 4 plus the 1, that gives me 5. So it will give me $552. Obviously before taxes, all that fun stuff. But, okay, that's where we're going. So that's why when we're doing time and a half, you figure out how much you're making in that hour time, and then you take half of it and you combine it. Okay? So every time people are working time and a half, you need to double check your checks. I'm putting it out there because there's a lot of businesses, they know you're not checking. So this is how you check it. This is how you get your gross. This is how you get before they start taking everything out. Okay? I remember when I first started working, I was like, who is FICA? Because I'm about to fight her. Yeah. Okay, you need help with the arithmetic reasoning? Yep. A lot of people generally do. Okay? A lot of people generally do. So if you guys if you're in the ASVAB and you're thinking about taking it ASAP, hey, as soon as next couple of weeks, maybe next month, or maybe at the end of this month, okay, reach out for me. I do tutoring. Okay, right now things are starting to pick up because I guess interims came out, or interims are about to come out, and parents are like, whoa, this should not be my score. What's this? What happened what happened here? So that's what I've been doing, and that's why I got to get myself going. So I got 3 minutes to close myself up. All right, so private, small group tutoring. I offered for people that do college algebra, if you wanted to do a small group tutoring session, everybody flaked. So guess what? I'm putting it right back into my one-to-one regimen. Okay, so I have courses. If you haven't started with another program and you really want to learn the math components, I do have a course for GED, for ASVAB, AccuPlacer, TEAS, or what's the other one? HESC. Okay, you guys can go into the foundations to algebra. Okay, and this is exactly where you can go to get that information. All right. The course itself right now, it went up to the $197. As I said, I had the sale for almost all summer up to yesterday. Okay, because September 30th, and it had to go back up. But it's 107 videos. The videos have step-by-step instruction. You can fast forward, you can rewind. There are practice sheets in there as well as quizzes, just so we can keep up. Now, and if you have any kind of quick questions, you can always message me, and then I will quickly respond. Okay? That I was going back to school for nursing? No, ma'am. Okay, you're taking the GED? Awesome. Okay, so if it's just like you need some tweaking, do the tutoring sessions. But if you're starting from ground zero and you're like, oh my gosh, it's been so long since I've done math, do the course. Okay, the course is going to be so much more beneficial because it's self-paced. So if you want to do 5 sections in one day, go ahead, knock yourself out. If you want to just do 1 section a day, do that. And the videos are like 20 minutes long. So you can fast forward, you can rewind, you can pause, try to do a problem yourself, and then push play and then check your answers. At the end of every video, there's an exit ticket, and the answer to the exit ticket is played into the beginning of the following. So there is a sequence to it. Okay. All right. So for the courses, it's $197. It's $197, and you have access to it for a full year. And the reason why I said full year, because once you get your GED, once you get your ASVAB and your AccuPlacer, you're not going to come back to it. You're not. Yeah, just like that. Oh, I want to have a treadmill in my house. Yeah, that's the most expensive laundry, hanging of clothes and sweaters that you have in your whole entire house. Come on, let's not lie to each other, because I have one too. The intention is there, but then use it, score well in it, move on. Okay? All right. You're taking it next week, TC? All right. So, TC, if you ever want to just do like a quick refresher course or just a quick refresher tutoring session, just let me know. Okay? Or you can also go here, and then watch some of the videos. But the tutoring session will take you straight to where you're working on, what are you missing, and we can make those changes. All right. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you guys truly. Okay. So I also have like math notebooks. If you're interested, in the very back, it has a whole bunch of resources, but it also gives you room for you to write your notes, to organize your notes. If you ever ask your child, hey, let me see your notes, and then they open up that black hole called a book bag, where it seems like everything disappears in there, even that orange that you gave that child like 2 years ago, all of a sudden miraculously comes back, a little mummified, but it's there. But now they can get a place to organize their stuff, to put their formula section, put their steps, okay? Also give them room for them to write their notes on both sides of the sheet. And again, if you want access to that, you can everything you need is here, okay? All right. How often do I come on here? I come live every day. Every day. So I'm trying to shoot for 6:45, but again, if I got a client, I gotta go. But definitely on the weekends, I'm here every day. It's sad. But if you want, you can check out my profile. I have a listing of the current schedule. But once I start getting clients, like they take precedence because they help pay my mortgage. Alrighty. Yep, I do sell my books. I am trying to get with this person. Yeah, she's not here yet. Okay. Do I tutor middle schoolers? Yes, I do. Okay. Yes, I do. Actually, I had a 7th grader before I came on here. So if anything, Audrey's notes, it's a collection of all my notes, okay? All my notes that I did in my notebook, okay? And if you notice, at the bottom, there's a QR code. If you scan the QR code, it will take you directly to my YT channel, and it'll take you directly to the live that's associated with it. So then you can actually just walk yourself through it. So it's great for mediation. It's great for homeschool parents. It's great for teachers, just to give kids that are normally struggling. They can use their phone, scan it, and then all of a sudden they're watching the live from the very beginning. They're seeing the definitions, they're seeing the steps, they're seeing the process, and all they have to do is just follow along. So I have some things that I would take. Hey, we were just talking about this today. Percent of increase and decrease. And there we go. All right. So we have our new plus or minus our old divided by our old. So we have all 5 books ready and available. It's also on the A. The A is, the brown box with the smiley face. But all that information is, if you go to One Stop Shop, you can go here. Okay. Go ahead and screenshot it. I'm going to take it down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. And if you got some lefties out there, and the notebooks I have for pre-algebra, algebra 1, but I also got a notebook for my lefties. Yep. A left-handed math notebook. Got you. All right. Okay. All right. Sure. I mean, you can pick one. Go ahead. Look at this one. This is for multiplying rational expressions. So for those that are in college algebra, this will be a good one for you. So go ahead. See if you can scan it. And then you got it. Are you part of the TikTok Live Anonymous? Okay. All right. So, but the only one that sells the left-handed books, if you go into my website, if you go here, this is where you can especially get the left-handed books. All my books are there, but for my left-handed books, you can go there. Sorry. Taking it down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to go. I got a couple of clients. Again, if you guys need me, go ahead and DM me. I'm always checking my DMs. I might be sending you a message a little later tonight than normal, but I'm always up. So if anything, if you do have any questions about tutoring, about books, before you buy anything, go ahead and just send a message, okay? Just so I make sure that you're purchasing the right stuff and that's going to be effective for you, okay? It's great that, yes, this will help me pay for some bills and stuff and also build my credibility, but I really want you to get the best usage out of it, okay? All right. Any other questions? Yes. So I'm definitely on Eastern Standard Time. So let me know if you want tutoring, but it doesn't matter. West Coast, Midwest. I have students all over the place. I have in Puerto Rico. That's where I'm going to be tutoring in the next few minutes. I'm going to be in Puerto Rico. I usually have someone in California. That's going to be tomorrow night. I'm in Alaska in the morning. I tutor kids before they go to school. So when it's 9 o'clock here, it's 5 in the morning there. That's dedication, okay? That's dedication. All right. Okay, my loves, have a great night. And again, if you have questions, please do not hesitate whatsoever. It's not a good day without seeing Richmond. All right. Have a wonderful day. Take care.